let's get started. We're gonna learn how to start a Premiere Pro project really quickly. We're gonna make a folder for our project and we're gonna call it whatever our project's called. I'm doing behind the scenes for my music videos. Okay, now we're gonna make a new folder called project files. Make another new folder called footage. Make another new folder called extra. I do this every single time I start a new project. Every single time. Music videos. If I'm doing like a recap video, a birthday party, every time I'll do it like this. If I shoot on multiple cameras or if I have multiple files, I'll put like Sony and Canon or Sony, Canon, Fuji, and then we'll separate them once we get into Premiere. So my footage right here. So now we're gonna import our footage. I'm gonna take this, let's say it's my flash drive. We're gonna grab all the audio clips. I'm gonna hold shift and I'm gonna drag everything over and it'll transfer. Now we have everything we need to get the project started. So I'm gonna open up Premiere. I already have it open. We're gonna go to our Finder or our folder. We're gonna take our footage and our extras. If we have anything in our extras folder, we're gonna drag them into Premiere over here in our project. And if it freezes, that's just because it's loading. So now we have our footage. I'll always start in list view over here in the bottom to see what frame rate I'm working with. And if I were working with different frame rate clips like 24 along with 60, I would make a new bin and put 24 FPS. And then I would take my 24 FPS clips right here and I would drag them into there. But I'm not. So just working with 60. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make another new bin called extra. And the way I did that, you just right click and new bin, or you go to file, new bin. If you also want to import clips in a quick way, I don't do this because it used to crash for me a lot. You can double click here, navigate, and get to where you need. In our extras, we're gonna right click, new sequence, or you go to file, new sequence. I'm gonna do the shortcut, Command N. We're gonna go to settings, editing mode, custom, all the way at the top, time base. I'm gonna keep this, I usually keep it at 23, but I'm gonna put this at 59, just it'll go by faster for me. On the pre-rendering side, our sequence, we're gonna put, same as our project. And we could save this preset, put the name, description, everything. Also, uncheck that box if it's checked, uncheck this box. Also, just have this one checked. And all our preview, our video previews, we're going to change to GoPro Cineform 10-bit. Hit OK. Now we have a sequence. Hit OK. Now we have a sequence. What I usually like to do, I'll change this back to the icon. I'll scroll through my clips, see what I'm working with real quick, see if I like anything. I'll put a marker down, like let's say over here, I like this shot. I'm gonna just put an M. I could hover over right here. Let's say I like this shot. I'll put a M just so I know what I'm liking. Hover over. I know I like this. And we're gonna hit through double click. Hit M. Hit M. I won't do my in and outs because I'm not being precise right now. I'm just quickly marking what I like. M. And then our other clips, if they're grayed out, they're just loading. So just give it a second. Hover over. I like this. Over here. M. Then I'll go and I'll start to sequence my project. Everything should be in order. If it's not, go over to the sort icons and change it to name accordingly. So I'm going to do this, just for tutorial purposes, fairly quickly. Set my I, set my O. If I want to drag the video and the audio for my behind the scenes, which I'm going to want to, depending on the style I'm going for, I'll do that. If I just want the video, I'll just drag the video. If I want the audio, I'll just drag the audio. Now, if you want to see the audio, click the drag audio only, and you can zoom in much further to see where you want to set your in and out points, where you want to hit your I and where you want to hit your O. So boom, boom. I'm going to click back on drag video only. I'm going to drag these both. I'm going to keep sequence settings. We can drag this out, drag this out. Now, I'm just going to add some quick text. I put now we're going to change our text completely. I'm not keeping that. We're going to highlight all our text. We're going to go to Essential Graphics. If you don't see it, Window, Essential Graphics. If your Essential Graphics just pops up in just the air floating or pops up over here very weirdly, click and drag on the name and you could bring it anywhere you need to. You can even customize it here. So we're going to click on that. We're going to change our text. You can change your text to whatever you want. I always use intro, it's my favorite. And just because this is super ugly, we're going to click on fill and change it to black. And we're going to take off the stroke. Now we'll use the horizontal center and the vertical center. Now it's centered. We can scale it down using this tool over here. Don't use the effect control scale down on the video. Don't use that. Use this. This goes further for the text. And a lot of you are probably wondering, maybe you already got started. Oh, I use that, or I use this. Don't use this. This over here is just for the text solely, not the entire, not the entire text box as a whole. So let's say I want to minimize this. I'll actually put all this in white, so you guys can see better. And let's say I just want to put behind the scenes a little bit lower. We can we'll just take this and drag it down. I'll highlight everything, put it to center align, and then we'll vertically align, horizontally align again, and then boom. There we go. Add a quick fade in. We'll click on the edge, we'll right click, apply default transitions. Go to the edge until you see the arrow, apply default transitions. So if our audio is too loud, we'll go over here on our clip, we'll click on the audio, untoggle the animation for level, put the arrow down, or you could use this. I just prefer to use the arrow, the slider, it's a lot easier. And we'll just put this down. I'm just going to put it down for the editing tutorial. Let's say we like what we have. We're going to come to the end. We're going to hit C, or right here, our razor tool. Boom. Cut. We'll click that. Press delete. Right click. We see the arrow. Apply default transitions. If we want our video to fade and our audio to fade out in a shorter length, we'll just alternate. Boom, boom. If you want our text to fade out sooner, boom, boom. And that's it. Now we're going to export. We're going to go to the end of our clip. You could hit the up on the arrow key to go to the beginning of the timeline, hit the down to go further. We're going to hit O for our out point. Go to File, Export, and Media. Before you click Media, look at your we're going to File, Export, Media, and look at your shortcut. Mine's Command M. We come over here, Command M. Now we're going to just export this for the phone just so I could send it to the client as a preview. I wouldn't actually send this. This is just to show you guys for the tutorial. These are just my settings. I always adjust whenever I'm going to send it very quickly or just upload it to Instagram. I'm going to uncheck that box for the frame rate. put it to 23.976. I'm never worried about the basic video settings because I know I set it to what we had set it to earlier when we created the sequence. Render at maximum depth, square pixels. Put my target bitrate to 10 and use maximum render quality and use previews. Before we hit export, I'm going to show you what the previews are. So this is yellow, which is fine. That means Premiere can play it, our computer can handle it and play it. But if we were to add an effect, this isn't a heavy effect, it'll make it red. We just added an effect, and this just went from yellow to red. That means we need to pre-render our effect, our clip. I'm just going to drag this over, and boom, just so you guys can see. So now we have a mirror effect. We're going to go make sure we set our out point and our in points with sequence and render into out. There's a shortcut where you can click that. My shortcut is E. That's what works for me. I'm gonna hit E. That's gonna pre-render, and depending on your system and how heavy the effect is and what you have on that clip, it'll go by short or it'll go by in a very annoying time frame. So it'll turn green. Perfect. We're gonna export now. Go back to our export, your shortcut or file export media. Then change the frame rate, 23.976. Render maximum depth, use previews, use maximum render quality, and I'll hit output name to direct the output. I'll put it on my desktop, hit save, and I'll hit export. If you want to save your preset of what we just did, hit save preset for the exporting settings, and we'll put this to from 1920 x 1080 and hit OK. Export. All done. And voila, we just created our first video.